This is Hunter Ballard's and Ricky Guerrero's Geometry Video Dictionary. We will define and give examples of 20 geometry terms.
First term we have is adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two different angles that are adjacent to each other that share a common side and a common vertex and do not overlap.
As seen here, this is an example of adjacent angles because these two angles right here share a common side and a common vertex but do not overlap each other.
Our second term is an acute angle. An acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. This is an example of an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees.
Next term we have is an angle bisector. An angle bisector is a segment that splits an angle into two congruent angles. Here's an example of angle bisector. As you can see, this segment right here bisects the angle into two congruent angles.
A circle is a round plane who has an equal circumference all the way around. This is a good definition of a circle because it has an equal circumference all the way around and it's a flat plane.
The next definition that we have is collinear points. Collinear points are 3 points that lie on the same line. As seen here, these 3 edges all lay on the same line.
Our next word is complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to be 90 degrees. This is a good example of complementary angles because these two angles right here both add up to be 90 degrees.
The next term we have is corresponding parts. Corresponding parts are parts of two congruent angles that are the same. This is a good example of corresponding parts because these two figures are congruent, therefore making their corresponding parts congruent.
Our eighth word are linear pairs. Linear pairs are two angles that are adjacent to each other and are supplementary. Okay, these two angles are linear pairs because they are adjacent to each other and are supplementary. Our next word is midpoint. The definition of a midpoint is a point exactly halfway on a line segment. This is a good example of midpoint because in this segment right here, this point is exactly halfway in of the segment. Our 10th word is obtuse angle. The definition of an obtuse angle is an angle that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. This is a good example of a obtuse angle because it is greater than 90 degrees but it's not a flat line. Our next word is parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that are on the same plane and will never meet. These two lines are a good example of parallel lines because they're on the same plane, and if they were to continue on forever, they would never meet. Our next word is perpendicular lines. The definition of perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect to form a right angle. This is a good example of perpendicular lines because they intersect and they form a right angle right here. Our next word is quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles. This is a good example of a quadrilateral because it's got 4 sides and it's got 4 angles. Our next word is array. Array is a line that has one endpoint and extends on forever. This is a good example of array because it has an endpoint but extends forever. Our next word is reflection. The definition of reflection is a figure that is being reflected across one line. This is a good example of reflection because this figure is being reflected into this other figure across this line. Our next word is right triangle. A right triangle is a triangle with a right angle. This is a good example of a right triangle because it's a triangle with a right angle. Our next word are skew lines. Skew lines are two lines that are in different planes, are not parallel, and do not intersect. These two lines right here, this one and this one, are in different planes and they're not parallel and they will not intersect. Our next word is a sphere. A sphere is a round, solid figure. This is a round, solid figure. Our next word is supplementary angles. A supplementary angle are two angles that form 180 degrees as shown here. Our last word is vertical angles. Vertical angles are two angles formed by, or two opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. These angles are opposite angles that are being formed by two intersecting lines.
And this was our video dictionary.
All these examples are found in our everyday lives, like school and our house. And if you decide to play sports when you grow up, you will be surrounded by geometry everywhere, like this sphere.